welcome to another episode of the Impel podcast. I'm your host, Leon. This is my co-host, Rene.
What up?
This my man, KP. I call him Mr. Pierre.
What's going on?
Now, look. We ain't on the stream, so if she say something crazy, I can take her glasses off. I can take his glasses off. They'll be in trouble.
He jealous because he don't have his glasses on.
Oh, listen,
I got
waking up.
I got LASIK.
That only lasts for so long.
I know.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He gonna need some of these real soon.
It's coming.
I might get them back. But anyway, we're talking about, does Latinos get more grace? Latoya Cantrell, her indictment. I don't really know what's going on. KP, he's going to enlighten us. That's his homegirl from his state. Black women in corporate.
Yeah.
Like this one right here. Black women in corporate.
Mm-hmm.
But Rene brought to our attention in the chat. She says she thinks Latinos get more grace than blacks, which I don't understand why she even thought that, where that came from, but we're going to let her explain why she said that.
I just, I was on a walk, right, in my neighborhood, and it's some unfinished apartment complexes that's been going on for about 6 years, almost 6 years, right? And I noticed it's the same Latino workers that have been building on this kind of townhouse apartment community for a while, right? And so when I brought it to my friends, like, are they moving too slow? Maybe, they have a new buyer now. So are they going to hire the same people? I don't think they should, because I feel like it should have been completed by now, right? Also, I feel like the work isn't that great. And so my friends kind of push back, oh, it's not their fault. It's the builder. They should provide oversight. And I can see that. However, it led me to think about, why is it when it comes to Latinos, we give them so much more grace? It's always, well, they work for pennies on the dollar. They do all of these things, when essentially a lot of them have certifications. A lot of them know their worth. Also, they know that people are going to give them grace too. So therefore, I feel like a lot of times that they use that to their advantage, and they undercut Black people. When it comes to Black people, the stigma is, we're lazy. We're on welfare. We don't do enough. We're not going to do their jobs or what they want to do, when essentially they have, and they've applied for them, but they've just been undercut by, to me, Latino workers. It's not that I don't like them. I just feel like we give them more grace than we give ourselves.
Now, before KP go in, because he can talk, I don't think that's the case. Because what I said in the chat was, Latinos, they're about their money. I think I put it more on the builders. I think it had more to do with them not. It's been times when they say builders don't have enough money to complete the job.
That's true. But also,
Latinos,
I feel like Latinos can run the clock. Remember, I told you I hired them for a job at my house during the time that they should have been working.
But that's different. That's your house. we talking about.
But my neighborhood, the people in my neighborhood also hired them to do jobs during the time that they should have been working on.
But you got to think what you're talking about, though. You're talking about your house with big construction jobs. They gonna get that. They get those jobs done. They be out there working.
But they should have been working on the house instead of working on the job, instead of working on my house too, right? There was no oversight.
Well, yeah, it's oversight because you're there.
No, there was no oversight at the apartment complex.
That's what I'm saying. Hey, I'm saying at your house, there's oversight.
Right.
The actual owner and the person that's going to pay them is right there.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to get it done.
Right.
You're saying because of the lack of oversight?
At the apartment complex, they're able to do multiple jobs in one day, which to me kind of, extends the timeline of the job that they should have been doing at the apartment complex.
Yeah.
So you think the job on the apartment complex should have been done first?
Yeah. There's no reason why.
Well, maybe
are they double billing, or did they stop the clock to come to my house?
Maybe they would have got it done if you would have got it to come to your house.
Right.
That is very true.
Everybody's stealing them off the job site.
Here's the thing. What I asked them to do could have been done after 5. It wasn't a necessity for them to do during the day.
No. That's Corona time. So no, they got it. They got.
I'm just saying it wasn't. So I'm saying, do you think they stopped the clock and said to their boss at that apartment complex that they should have been working on, hey, we're going to go down the street,
Mhm.
work on Renee's house, 3 of my other neighbors' house, and then we're going to come back? Or do you think they were still on the clock?
I don't think that's the case because they get them jobs done. Now you
I'm
said
just
it's
saying
been
there's the
sitting.
grace. Because if a black person would have did it, you would have been like, oh, they that's time card fraud, right?
But you said the department's been sitting since 2020, so they probably
I
had
don't-
nothing to do.
Yeah, I don't know how long it's been. I moved when I was
started
when I
in-
moved here in 22, they were building on it.
Mhm.
And partial the main part of it was already up. That part to the side of it where you turn down that street is it looked like they were building a garage for
Right.
parking cars, but come and find out those are units now.
Yeah.
I've had to I mean, when I was in the market to buy one of those townhomes, I mean, I went in there, and the thing is that we're talking about they may get a lot of leeway and a lot of grace, but I don't know if anybody is even checking. Is it the builder, like let's just say Lanier, or is it the people that's doing the work?
Mhm.
Because what I saw was why I backed out of it and didn't want it is because of the craftsmanship. It was really cheap and raunchy looking.
Yeah.
And for them, for them to be charging $450,000 for this property, I didn't see $450,000 value other than that location.
Right.
But I think what you're saying or what you're asking is, do we as a Black community give them grace as to time allotted to finish a project? Is that what you're saying?
That,
and we don't
just as a job as a whole, we give them grace. Oh, they'll do it for pennies on the dollar versus well, a Black person, they're not gonna do it because they're lazy. It comes negative when it comes to Black people, but it's more grace and when it comes to the Hispanic Latino community.
So is it built into us that we take away the argument when we paying them pennies on a dollar that time no longer exists? Because when that's what we're thinking is happening? Because once we say, well, if you hire the Latino community to do the construction work on your property or building the property, because you're getting it at a cheaper rate per se, then you exclude time. Versus if you hire a Black construction company and you pay them the rate that's supposed to pay, time starts.
Right.
And so I think you're trying to hold them to the standard of that we paid them competitive pricing, but they still taking forever. And you're thinking that they're just sitting riding the clock out. I think I know a little bit about that builder. I think that builder is, I mean, he's a Black man, but I think he's of African descent. Well, we're all.
And I don't
African
think he
descent.
lived here. The original builder.
Yeah, the original. Yeah, and so I think that there could have been a financial issue.
That's what I say.
I think there was a financial issue because remember, they can only build based on the draws that they're able to draw from the bank or the lending institution.
Yes.
They get this done and then they can do this and they draw a certain amount and then they draw this amount. We don't know if the lender came in there and said, well, this is not what it should be. You can't get your next draw until you fix this. And he was like, well, it could be a lot of that.
But I also think lack of oversight as well.
That goes to that.
Because I believe that the original builder didn't live here.
Okay.
So, a lot of times they put trust because, sometimes you could talk a good game. I have the perfect workers. They're great. They do a great job. We've done this. You don't need to be here, Mr. Guy.
Yeah, we got you. We got the general contractor. We got a GC that's going to overlook it.
That he's doing things in our neighborhood, right?
Right. He's
between one and three.
It could be a lot of that going on where the general contractor is taking that labor off and going to do other jobs because the actual owner of the person is not here.
Right.
That could it be the city too?
No.
Okay.
Reason because I know the city. One of my best friends, a husband works for the city, and that's how I know they've been through multiple builders and they got a new builder. And it's the reason for the argument of the lack of the oversight and the amount of grace without giving so much. You know what I mean?
Now, this is the reason I asked that question. So y'all know what the barbershop is, the complex, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Y'all know it's getting renovated.
Yeah.
No Latinos so far have been working on that job.
Really?
None. Right?
Yeah.
But the people who has been working out there they started on one little corner.
Right there where you used to park.
You should see how long it took them to finish that little court. So they finally got around and got everything. So I seen the property manager. I asked him, I said, man, I said, why they taking so long to get this work done around here? He said that they're waiting on certain permits for the city.
Well, yeah, pulling permits
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
cost time, you know. Yeah.
But
What is the ethnicity?
I know you. I know what you say. They
You know.
they white. They white. They white.
Ah.
But if you look at how these people how they work,
Mhm.
it's a lot of sitting down outside, a lot of smoke breaks. They just walking around not doing it.
They don't make good slaves, do they?
Come on, man. So I'm like we talked about this before. The Latinos, they go work. That's my thing. They go work. I said they need.
I feel like black people,
they
can work just as
don't-
hard
look,
too.
Okay, I
We
agree with that,
work.
but black people ain't gonna. They don't want to get out there in 95-degree weather.
Well, we're not gonna get on that roof.
They don't. They don't
That's
want.
over
But they're
with.
going to do that HVAC system.
We're gonna
very
do
well.
that. Yeah, we
that-
upgrade.
yeah,
Listen,
they do
man, we
that.
upgraded, man.
Yeah.
We got HVC, whatever those license,
HVAC, yeah.
HVAC. We got electric license. We got plumbing license. So
but
we
that's,
inside.
But that's different than that construction. Went outside, climbing them scaffolds on the roof.
We
95
used to do
degrees,
that.
95 degrees. Used to 95 degrees. What? 25 degrees in the cold.
Well, I mean,
Latino, they gonna
we can
get that
say
work
that,
done.
right?
So-
I just hope that by 2026, I would like to see the completion of that neighborhood. Like, really.
I
soon.
was one of I listened to Urban View, and there's Karen Hunter, and she was talking about this very thing you're talking about. She had hired some construction workers to do something around her house, and the construction company showed up, and it was, because she's had multiple things done in her house,
Mhm.
doing things. And this specific, when she talked about this, she said that the contractor did show up, and it was primarily white workers, white owner. And she said it took forever for them to get certain things done
Mhm.
that otherwise, with using the Latino community or even the black community, they did it in a better in a lot of time that she felt that was feasible. But she said this last group, because she had recently done this, she said it took forever.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, I think we're segueing into two different things, but they are, I would say, the Latino community, if we're just going to based on that, I think that they do the work in a record amount of time. I think our question is, do we give them grace because it's pennies on a dollar, so to speak, or is it that I'm not sure, like how we.
Or do they also feel like, I think also we feel like they don't know their worth. Like they don't know.
I think they know they worth.
They know
and
they
I
worth.
think they know they worth, but it's
they
like
don't need as much as
they're
black
not
people
gonna push back. And
Mhm.
so that makes them good employees, because they don't push back, because most of them are here illegal. Most of them are here
But
probably
the ones
overstaying
that
the
are
visa.
that are legal here,
They're
they
not
know their
doing those
worth.
jobs.
And some of them are they're the GCs,
Yeah.
right? And so a lot of them they come from the mind frame of, you need me
Right.
and my people.
Right,
They
because-
may not need as much because they still about 12 people a house. So they might.
You
they
know
do.
what?
They do.
That's not always true. The
It's
GCs
for a lot,
It's
but they
primarily true.
They group together now.
they do group together, but
Yeah.
also those GCs know you need my people and me.
If you are a construction guy and you're a builder and you're a developer, it will be in your best interest to have a GC that's Hispanic, because he can talk to the people, he can do the thing, you're gonna always have workers,
Yeah.
and so they may push back a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but I think as a whole, as a Latino community, they don't push back against nothing.
And maybe they don't need as much.
They may not need, but I think what they do is they take what is given and they just make it work. And they got, I'm not gonna say they got that from us, but we did that. You have to understand, we have more time here than they have. So, I just think that I don't know if we give them more grace. I just think that it just depends on the job, Rene. I don't know.
I guess, in general conversation, you hear they're like, oh, they're great workers. I mean, they work fast, right? I think they work fast. I think,
They definitely do.
they need
I think-
more oversight,
right.
because sometimes the finished product isn't what it should be. And
Right.
we talked about the townhomes, right? Did they build it fast? Yeah. Is it the quality of work? That's questionable. But I just feel like we as a community also too need to look at Black people as, and push back when we hear the stigma of they're lazy. They don't want to do some of those things. When we see Black people saying, hey, I've been looking for a job. I saw a post from a guy that said, I just finished one of the top mechanic schools in the nation and I can't get a job, even at AAA.
Now, when you say the quality of work, what you mean by that?
The quality of work of the building.
That's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
but I'm trying to.
I'm saying that they may work fast in some cases, or they may work, but the quality of work can be very questionable.
Could be
And I'm
shoddy.
taking from me suing my builder who had an all Latino build my house.
What I'm trying to say is, are you talking about the quality of the material?
No.
Okay.
The
Okay.
quality of the work.
I'm asking. I'm saying that because somebody pointed something out to me in some houses. And he was a Latino,
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
and he was talking about some of the things that they should have did. Whoever crew that built these houses.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, of course they're gonna, because that's how they come in and say that I could do a better job than what you have or the previous. I'm pretty sure the new owner of the fourth owner of the apartment near me, I'm pretty sure it's gonna, once they find out who's the new owner and they, they're gonna say, hey, I know somebody who could work a little faster, or hey, that wood in there looks, don't look right, or you know what I mean? Of course, that's how they come in and they get the job. They bid on the job because they're gonna tell you where the previous people lacked, right?
But it's a lot of.
I think, yeah, but
that happens with everything. You get a plumber, they're gonna like, hey, they use plastic instead of metal right there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, there's gonna always be some hating. I mean, when I showed up for you to cut my hair, you was like, hey man, your barber ain't, I could bring that back.
No, but the quality of work is kind of questionable, and that could be on the builder, right? Who's rushing them to just get it done so he can get it sold and make his money back. But I just feel like we need to give everybody the same amount of grace instead of the negative stigma.
We give them grace though.
I don't know if we. I think we give them. I think we think, all right, we hire these Latino workers, they get it done fast. Let's just say you're landscaping, right?
Mhm.
You've been having this landscaping crew, and it's Black. He
Mhm.
show up, it's him, his son, maybe a nephew. They cut your grass, and you end up hiring a Latino crew, and they come through and they do it in a record amount of time. So you think it's faster, so there's better.
Right.
The thing is, it's more of them.
Right.
Than the 3 that you hired with the Black-owned company, because he's gonna have to pay those 2 people a premium penny. And I think with the Latino, I'm not saying that they don't, because I don't know their pay structure, but I would imagine that same 3 crew that Black-owned crew landscaper had, the Latino guy, he's 10 of them, and they running. As soon as they get off the truck, one's laying or one edging, one's doing this and one's doing that, and they done. And so I think we're confusing speed with people. They just got more of them. And so I think that
also the 3-part, the quality it's gonna look a little bit different, right? It can look a little bit different.
Well, that's on the builder though, ain't it? The quality?
The oversight.
It's on the GC.
It's on the GC and the site manager.
So they just going by the plans, right?
Kinda, right? Kinda. But I mean, I don't know. It's just something that came to mind. I walk my community twice a day, every day, right? And so I look at the progress.
Yeah, you looking for something to cite somebody.
Not necessarily. Listen,
you're in that Winterfield. Listen,
is that HOA?
That's HOA. This is Karen Rene. She is on the prowl.
Listen, but my community is beautiful. Is it not, KP?
Yeah, when I lived there, it was beautiful. Even though I got my truck broken in, that's another story.
Ooh, that's not my side that I monitor.
But that probably wasn't from your neighborhoods.
I think it was. I mean, it was on the cameras. Everybody, I had neighbors. It showed up, and it was.
Was it during COVID?
No, it was during the summer months. So the kids was out, and it was a string of a string of car break-ins around the time. Remember that in Durham they had like 50 cars got broken in.
Yeah.
So I was caught up in that. But they did that downtown. But what they were doing, I think they were walking the neighborhood. They showed up about 2, 3 in the morning, and they just walking the neighborhood pulling handles.
Your car was unlocked?
I don't know. See, they confused me because I know I locked my truck. And so when it first happened, let's just say it happened, I got up, it was a Sunday, so I woke up Monday to go to work. and I saw that they had went through my car. They looking for guns.
Yeah.
And so they took my glasses. And so
Yeah,
they
had the 14K glass.
no, man, this was these was dollar store glasses, but they shades for me to drive.
Mm-hmm.
And they took them. That's the only thing they took.
Yeah.
And so that was Monday. And so I saw it on camera. I saw who it was. It was the whoever we know they were.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided Wednesday, since they took my glass, I said, you know what? I'm gonna go buy me some real glass. I'll go to the store, buy me some Ray-Bans. And the guy was like, hey, you want insurance? I was like, nah, man, ain't nothing gonna happen to these, you know. And I got them. They came in the case. I never even wore them. Left them in the truck. Thursday, I get up to go to work. They broke in my truck again. And they took them.
He left his door unlocked.
No, I think that because I called my buddy, I called my boy Cook, man, because you know he's Durham PD, and I was like, hey man, I reported.
You can't be getting out no names, man.
Oh, that's just well, I mean,
they used the antenna thing.
I'm thinking that they were using a device that they go and where if your key is located near your vehicle and they pick up a signal, it'll unlock it. Because I know I'm locking my truck.
Yeah.
And so after that, I mean, I just start parking in my garage.
I know somebody that happened to. They actually did get some guns taken out of the car.
Yeah, and my neighbors, because I think they was hitting them trucks up. My neighbors right by IKEA, right next to her. I'm name dropping. They got his guns, and the neighbor across the street, they got his guns out his truck.
Oh yeah, I got my keys in one of those RFID pouches. And you put it in at night, and you put it in a box.
Or they put it in the can or something.
Yeah, I've been thinking about getting those, but I moved.
Yeah. All right, let's move on.
You threw the shade. I moved, y'all. Y'all caught that? Whatever.
Let's talk about your well, she's not your mayor now, but she's from your
my mayor is Leo Williams.
Leo Williams.
I'm a Durhamite now, I guess.
He's so excited about it. Don't make no sense.
Man, I get to vote in y'all election.
Well, anyway, we'll get back to that later on. Look. New Orleans mayor indicted for corruption over alleged bodyguard romance. Now, I haven't read too much into this, but bodyguard romance.
Why is that even a thing? It's the same thing they got. What's her name in Fonnie Willis? They got her for that because of the lawyers that she hired on the case to prosecute Trump.
Oh yeah,
she was having not an affair, but she was having a romantic relationship, and they tied their romantic relationship to them going to different places using government funds to go to these places.
Oh, okay.
And so whether it's a hotel, whether it's a trip or something like that. And so some kind of way they try to tie it in, and that's how you get the indictments on the thing. And so she got indicted. That means a grand jury found credible evidence to prosecute. Now, what is true? She was messing with the he's a security guard.
Don't drop no names now. Go ahead.
Y'all dropped her name.
Allegedly.
Y'all talked about my mayor TD.
We said allegedly having an affair with.
It's in the news, so we got to say. I'm talking about him because he said something early off camera. That's why I want to make sure he dropping no names.
No, I'm not dropping names, but TD, this was gonna come out maybe because they had it on camera. Well, we call it TD. What you talking about?
Go ahead. Oh, you talking about her? Her name TD.
Yeah, what they call it TD. You know what I'm saying?
Your boy that you talking about. Off camera.
Oh, no, I can't say that. That video of her, that was exposed, I think, sometime last year. So it was just a matter of time before they tied her to some type of illegal financial use of misappropriation of funds. And it's just a matter of time before they try to tie this together to try to get an indictment. So, but they've been after her because, like I said, I try to compare her to when I went to listen to the Mariel Forum here in Durham, and we know Miss Anjanae Bell is running. And I compared her to Latoya Cantrell, and I was like, those are two different leadership style. Now I knew that they would go after Latoya because she's so aggressive. She's aggressive to them. We know that energy, and it's that energy she has to have because she's in a male-dominated arena where she has to reach across the aisles and work with this one and work with that. She got to take accusations from him. You know what I'm saying? And so and then her constituents she's got to be. So you got to be kind of firm. And the press was after her because of her having student loans. So that's how much they've been after her, because she challenged him. She talked that talk to him. And so they was after her, they was questioning her about her student loans. And she was like, well, what's the problem? Yeah, I have student loans.
What's the problem? Should you
They
not
were
in
thinking that
position?
she took her seat, or maybe she is like, if you're going to work for the federal government, they go do this background check on you to make sure they check your finances. They check and they interview people that you've grown up with, because they were suggesting that she has student loans. That means she can be compromised, meaning that a builder can say, hey, I see you got 75,000 in student loans. If you approve this project, how about that go away? So that's the case that they were trying to make, in a sense, that she can be compromised because she has debt. Well, everybody has debt.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
So that was the argument a couple of years back. So so did
any of the previous mayors have student loans, or was that just
well, yeah, they did. And you know, they knocked up I was about to call him my Nagin. They locked up Mayor Ray Nagin behind you know, some things that he was doing in office in terms of contracts and so he got locked up for that. You know, so you know, it happens. I just think with us, if I'm gonna bring it back to us, I think with us, when we get in these positions, that we have to understand that if we're gonna be forward in our speaking, forward in our talking, and pushing back and being bombastic in our positions, we're going to be dressed right, dressed and buttoned up when it comes to finances and how we actually conduct ourselves in the business aspect, and not allowing people to corrupt us. And we need to be careful not to do the things. Everybody that's from Kwame Kilpatrick, all these people that's got caught with their hands in the cookie jar, this ain't nothing that the other ones hadn't been done for years. They always do it, been doing it, and gonna do it. We can't do it because it's a problem. Now, we can do it. If you are Tim Scott or Byron Donald, you could do these things because you're protected by the machine, per se. But if you're gonna stick your chest out there and you're gonna talk about these things and push back against the media, you're gonna have to make sure that your finances is buttoned up, and your past is gonna not be able to affect your political movement. And I think with us, if we're gonna be in office, we're gonna just keep our hands out the cookie jar. You know, do what you can, get your money, but get it legally.
So this case is more or less about her using the government's money and not her own money.
That's what they're trying to make that case. That's what the indictment. Again, she's been indicted, so there's a grand jury. So there is evidence presented that at least the grant that they was able to see that, okay, you guys can bring charges. Now, will those charges stick? That's what we got to go. That's what she's going to have to go to court for. But
says the trips cost the New Orleans city government more than $70,000, not counting Cantrell's travel expenses. The charging documents filed on Friday.
See, that's easy to get her with, because the young man that she was messing with is part of her security detail. So if she's messing with him, they're paying him to be with her.
Right.
So they're conflating. They're joining the expenditure to you using government. You're using the city money for your little escapade. When that's really, is it true? You can draw the correlation, but it's not.
It's really
not. It's part of the.
It's part of the job.
It's part of the job. It's got. You see how
that's crazy.
Yeah. So
that's crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, they've been after Petey, man.
To, fall in love with her security guard. So it's like,
happens.
Well, he gonna protect her even better.
Listen, man. Listen, he was there. Whitney Houston fell in love with Kevin Costner.
That's what I was gonna say.
And he was the bodyguard. Why she didn't get indicted?
Exactly.
No, just
says she was accused of seeking to cover up the relationship by using an encrypted messaging program and deleting.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Some of 15,000 messages. But it's like you just explained.
That's a good morning every
bodyguard.
Right.
They spend a lot of time together.
Yeah.
They both got to feeling a way around each other.
Exactly.
And they were like, well, you here, I'm here.
So what has she done before? Like I know you said she's Really?
She's
What you call a
very
pit bull in a skirt.
yeah. She can be a pit bull in a skirt. Yeah,
That's probably really. It got to be really what it is.
yeah.
That's
She's
crazy.
taking on a lot of particular things, a lot of issues in the New Orleans area, and she pushes back against a lot of it. And a lot of it
Yes,
is the
ma'am,
status
what it
quo
is.
stuff. A lot of it is business as usual. She pushed back against a lot of that. She has a love-hate relationship in the community. I think for the most part, a lot of us really support her. But she's a mirror to people. You can see her at a second line. You can see her. You'll see her everywhere, and she'll dance like she don't care. And
Yeah.
that's how you want your politician to be. Will be a person of the people.
Yeah.
She's in the mix all the time.
Mhm.
And so so a lot of people love her. Some people have some hate or disdain for her. I thought she did a good job.
So what about you said? I don't. Just keep coming up. You said she's a mayor of the people. You know we got Leo Williams.
Okay. I think well Leo is what is your question? Like,
I'm
oh,
just
what
saying,
do you do?
Some people think he's too much of a mayor of the people.
Well, so I my pushback is this is that what do
By the way, I like Leo. But go ahead.
at this point, Leo has my vote. I mean, I got to like I said in previous podcasts, I got to sit in community with him, smoke cigars, and just talk politics. And so I like the young man, but what you're suggesting is he's damned if he do, damned if he don't. So we as a Black community, I ask, what the hell do we want? Right? You get a guy who is in that position. He's Black. He represents us. He's a business owner. He comes from the school community. You know, he used to teach, you know. And so if we get a guy who's buttoned up, real stiff collar, do not come in the community, do not interact, then we be like, well, he ain't one of us. The minute we get somebody who interacts with the community, who's not afraid to give out his number, he's not afraid to take a question to anybody, and he's out in the public, we're like, he doing too much. My question is, what the hell do y'all want?
Got to find a middle ground.
There is, well, what? Why? Why do our Black politicians have to find a middle ground?
I would have to say, or throw it back to the sometimes we lose focus and you get too involved, right? It's almost like
Okay, I can see that.
It's almost like, excuse me, I'm getting my phone. It's almost like having that manager that's too involved. Instead of being a manager, they want to be your friend, or they're a person on the floor. So therefore, I no longer can take you serious, right? Now you're one of us, and I'm speaking to you like one of us. And I no longer see you in that position anymore because you put yourself out there to be too involved.
But that ain't that what we want for them to be in tune with the community,
right?
You can be in tune with the community, but the giving out the phone number and all of that's too involved.
I will say that I hear what you're saying, and there to some degree I can agree with you. But he has, I think that there is, you can be too involved. You can put yourself out there too much, which means it's too much exposure. And I think in this political season, because now it's political season now, and I think the backlash could be like what happened with him 2 weeks ago, with the guy posting his number and his message. Because Leo, he challenged Leo about, you know, we did a segment on the video, and I think that I talked with some people, and I was like, he's too exposed.
Yeah.
And because it's now political season. After you win, you can do that. But now in the political season, I think you should be opened up to be, you know, open yourself up to people that have a bigger voting block. And not a voting block of one. This guy's one vote.
He is, but he speaks for the people that are in.
He speaks for the people, and I hate community. But I think the community in which he speak and in which he talk, that community doesn't vote.
It's a possibility, but I think they do.
I don't think they do at a number that if he had. What I am saying is when it's political season, that you engage more with people that have the impact that's going to impact the vote. Like maybe someone who's an activist in the community. If that person jumps on a feed that you're in, or he's at a different thing, you engage that person because that person has a platform of other voters that are going to follow him. So you engage this person and deal with their grievances. I wouldn't be engaging with one person that's one vote in the political running. But I think in order for him to learn how to know how to govern the city, he has to be in the people because it has to be with the people, because that will give him the feel of how he needs to govern when he's sitting on that board taking those votes.
That's
And he
true.
probably gave
But
it
also, I wouldn't give him my phone number if you know you're not gonna answer. You
But
know
I'm
what I
saying,
mean?
but
Like, why would you do that?
Well, people do that all the time.
He was in a meeting.
No,
People
no,
do that all the time. You know,
no.
people,
I
people do that all the time.
I think
people do do it, but I think he had no
you
intention
know,
of answering.
you
that.
know what I think? I think that's true, and I think he didn't think the guy was going to call.
He probably gonna call him back.
He
that
was
that was
probably-
just one clip. He probably called him back later on. We don't know.
We trust me, he would have did another whole video.
might have did.
It would have
Right.
circled back. Trust me,
I wouldn't have engaged him
it would have circled back.
because I don't think he has the scholarship, that guy, to
You say that, but I feel like he speaks to a community that we forget
listen.
about.
This guy's the community. When he comes on and he says two clickbait things. I've been cyberbullying the mayor. Like, all right, man, how old are you? Right, and then
I'm pretty sure he votes though.
right. Yeah, I know, but that community that I think he comes from or represent don't vote at the masses that the community we come from. That's what
I
I'm
can see
saying.
both ways, but
You
then
know,
I think about that Discord that we're on. You know what I'm talking about, the Durham one,
Mhm.
and he was posted in there, and you know he's
Pretty vocal.
yeah.
You think that guy that did that video and he was reading his points like a hostage? You think somebody's following him?
100%.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
he did. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Man, somebody.
Yes.
It's always
We
somebody
could-
following.
Matter of
listen.
fact,
I'm pretty sure he did.
We cooked.
I'm gonna include you. I'm gonna include you in a group where I know they love every
I don't
minute
think
of that.
I know it's out there, and I know that he is the mayor for all people. Let me not run over that point, but I don't think, and I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong, that populace that they don't vote. They don't vote.
Maybe I think I'm just saying it. Maybe I think they vote more now.
Yes.
It's probably
Mhm.
you can say that.
I hope I'm wrong.
You probably could have said that years past.
Right.
I think even like me, like I always say, I started voting for Obama.
Right.
I'm pretty sure a lot of them, what you're saying, they didn't vote when Obama ran.
Right.
I'm pretty sure a lot of them voted then just because he was black.
It's
And
true.
That probably got them more involved into
Right.
politics and voting. Maybe. We don't
No.
know.
That did.
I think so.
That did boost up the black voter participation.
Mhm.
Absolutely, it did.
And then maybe they start doing more like me research, trying to find
Well, yeah, but you got older and you got more mature, and things start mattering as you started. You get married, you got kids.
Yeah.
Things matter now.
Mhm.
So you're gonna get more politically involved.
Right.
But this group that I'm talking about these barbershop Negroes. Not which ones I'm talking about. They sit all day in there and talk about LeBron and this and the GOAT, and then they talk a little politics. They not voting.
I can see both ways.
Yeah, they not voting. Yeah, they just want to talk.
Yeah.
But they're not
But
voting.
see, the talk is that's the influence, right? And that's what they hear. Remember when I said, when you were like, oh, it was hard for me to kind of follow and understand because, how he started, right? I've been cyberbullying and that he spoke to a different crowd of people that we don't necessarily, interact with all the time. But there is a certain crowd in which he touched with that.
I
It
don't
may
disagree.
be the wrong information.
Right. I don't
And it may
disagree.
be the wrong person, right? They should be speaking to the commissioner and not the mayor. We
Right.
get that, right?
Right.
However, no one takes the time to understand the difference, and we see that.
And that's why that's why people like him are dangerous, and that's why you have a lot of people following him. I would put him in the category with those sexy reds and those Kodak blacks, those people that they just want to or MAGA, because he has people that are not politically astute listening to him. Whereas when we listened to him and he was talking about the budget, he was talking about Leo is responsible for a lot of stuff that he's not even responsible for. But the electorate, they don't know that.
Yes.
So they're like, man, he was this,
So
all that
now-
negative
so
stuff. They're
now-
like, I'm not.
so
So
now
then they
for
don't
the-
vote.
Right. But if they do, they're now mad at him, right?
They're now mad at him.
Mad at who?
Leo.
Yeah.
If you listen to that guy and all those points he ran down, which we know, like, come on,
But
man.
that's one of those things where you got to go do your research.
That group is not going to do that.
That's what I'm saying.
Because
if
it's
they
pointed
did-
at Leo in the video, right? When it should be pointed at the commissioner. But people are agreeing, right? They're like, yeah, I agree with you. Because they're not looking at the different types of, groups, like, the funding and the money. They don't know that has everything to do with treasury,
right?
right? They're going to be mad at Leo.
Right. That's something the county commission's got to see through or vote on. Or it's just, I was just listening to it and I was just like,
yeah,
but like y'all said, there's people that do follow that. I'm just afraid that the ones that do follow that, they're not educated enough to know that they're being led astray. That's my only thing.
Yeah.
Vote who you want to vote for, but at least have the political knowledge when you hear something that's not true.
Yeah. It's the same thing about tariffs, right? Your president still hasn't admitted who's responsible for the tariffs.
Your president, Donald Trump.
But we won't get into that. But he still hasn't admitted it. But
he don't have to admit it when you know what you know.
Right.
You know that tariffs are essentially, it's just a tax for the listening public. Tariffs are a tax that are paid by the consumer. That's what it is. So when he's saying, man, we're making all of this money, yeah, they are from you.
It just sounded good.
We don't want to get smoked running from the man head talking about Trump again. Trump is going to come up in every conversation we have. Just know that.
I mean, it circles back to him, right? Because that's just our current climate where we're at.
So I got a question. This is off topic. I was talking to somebody, and I know you talk a lot about learning our Black history and our history.
Yes.
I think we talked about this before. How, in this time and climate we're in, right? AI, technology, the way the world is going. What and how us teaching young kids Black history and where we come from and our past leaders and all that, how can that help us now in this time?
You asking me that?
Yeah, I'm asking. I want to hear both y'all opinion, but I know you talk.
I talk about it because because history. A lot of people say that history repeats itself or something like that.
Rhymes or something.
Yeah, well, I say it don't repeat itself, but it does often rhyme. Repeating itself meaning that, oh, well, we'll be back in being enslaved again if it repeats itself. But the rhythm of what it did does seem to come up. So when you learn about what has happened in history, which has Blacks in history, when you learn about the different things that the struggles and the triumphs and all those things, you learn that the rhythm of things kind of show up today versus when you learn about, if you just take the time and learn about right after the Civil War, there came in Reconstruction, Civil War in 1865. And then for about 11 years, there was a period of growth. Black people, you're talking about Black people that didn't have education, schooling, land, they had nothing. Within those 11 years, they were able to build schools, amass land, get stores, and get all this. And then you had 1877 come with the Hayes-Tillman Compromise. And with that compromise, basically, two presidents, they ran for president, they didn't get enough votes. And I think one of them said that, hey, listen, if you pledge your delegations to us, we'll give you the presidency, but you got to remove those federal troops from those areas down south. And so that was a compromise. They gave it. And so all of that gain. So you have to remember, in that same time, Black people were elected to Congress and all those state seats at a record number. especially Louisiana, Mississippi, and South Carolina, you had a lot of people elected into those seats. Well, once that compromise happened, they removed federal troops. And now at this point, they started running roughshod over us as a Black community. They started getting them out of these Black seats and all these towns and communities and all this stuff. That's when they ushered in Jim Crow. And so why is that important? So we had an area of time where we amassed a lot of wealth. So if you think about from where our parents were to where we are, we make more than our parents, right? We have acquired more than them. We do more than them. We look good at 50 because we're not stressed. They had to deal with the stress and the Reaganomics and coming out of the 70s into the 80s, and they had to deal with a lot.
My mama still look good.
No, I know I get, but you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so so what's happening now? We were able to become very financially aware. We are able to do a lot of things. What we noticing now? We're noticing that it's been reported that over 300,000 Black women are no longer working in these jobs. We also know that they had this program that Curtis Yarvin talked about, which is RAGE, which is Retire All Government Employees. And so they know that by how they can affect the Black community, if they get rid of those Black jobs, or well, I shouldn't say Black jobs, but those government jobs that are in DC, that a lot of Black people were able to go and have these jobs, get good health care, and make enough money to send their kids to Howard and Hampton. You know, all of that, they rolling all that away. They rolling they rolling those things away. So it's eerily similar to the Reconstruction, where we had got all of this stuff, and then all of a sudden they start rolling these things back. Because you have to understand that even in 1865, they passed John, what's his name? Weatherman, not the Weatherman, the guy that owned Byron Allen. He was suing Comcast and all them using the 1866 statute, meaning that we can make and infringe contracts, right? And or the things that were afforded to the Black people. That's still law and it's still on the books, and he's using that. But again, a lot of the stuff that came, they kind of wiped it out with the Teal's Heyman, with the compromise, and that's how we end up getting in Jim Crow. So why it's important to learn is that when we see these things happening, we can see the rhythm of it because we kind of see it now. They're rolling back everything that we've ever worked for. It took years to get the Civil Rights Act of 1964, and then the Voter Rights Act of 1965, and then the Fair Housing Act. Just those three acts alone, if you think about it, the civil rights, they're attacking civil rights, right? They even roll back civil rights within the federal government. Federal government no longer has to have separate water fountains. They can be racist if they want to be. You know, they've been gutting 1965 Voter Rights Act. They've been gutting that, you know, they've been knocking that one off the block. They done got rid of so many sections of it. And then when you think about the fair housing, and I'm not going to say that when it comes to fair housing, I think they're punishing everybody fair housing with the rates, right? With the prices of housing, things like that. Oh, yeah. They're rolling a lot of this stuff back. And so if you do not know the history and how we overcame these things, then how are you going to be able to fight through them? You know, so if you know the history, and I can give other points of history that we went through and just fought through, but when you know the history, you can see it, be like, oh, okay, I see. I remember this happening before, and how we were able to get out of it and how we were able to fight back. And so that's why I say it's important for you to know our history from where we came from, so we'll know where we're going.
Okay. We can touch a little bit more on that because there's other things you can say about that.
Like,
we'll talk about it later. We'll go into the we'll talk about that another time.
Did I talk too much?
No, you know you talk a lot anyway, but you good.
But I mean, I caught it straight.
But you gave us what I asked for, you know, and you mentioned something in that about the 300 Black women losing jobs.
300,000.
300,000. What I say?
300.
Oh, okay. But 300,000 losing jobs. A lady was it on TikTok? I think it was talking about how she wanted to quit her job because of her clothes, her outfit, or something she had to buy.
Her shoes.
That she had to buy.
She wanted to be cute.
She wanted to dress herself and look how she wanted to look. Now you as the Black woman in corporate, and you as a Black man in corporate, when you're working in corporate, you really got to do what they say. or dress how they want you to dress. You can't if it's an outfit that need to be worn, you got to wear the outfit.
Yeah.
So speak on that.
I see both ways, right?
Right.
And I'll tell you. So, corporate in me is you applied for this job, right? And it was based on these criterias with these rules that they have in place, whether it's how you conduct yourself, the decorum as a whole, right? That, their dress code, if they have it, if it's business casual or casual on Fridays, and they have this is acceptable, this is not acceptable. You choose to follow these, right? It's provided to you. You see it in the job requirements, right? Also, they reiterate it once you get hired on during the onboarding process, right? And although you may see people around that are breaking said rules, it doesn't mean that you to follow. It's almost like when you start a new job and you're getting trained and somebody's like, well, I do it this way. They want you to do it this way, but this is how I do it because I ain't gonna spend all day based on what they doing and I'm still get the work done, right? And you're like, I don't know.
I don't know about that.
You've been here for 10 years, right? I'm just starting and you telling me how to take the shortcut, right? I'm gonna do it the long way and then figure it out, whatever, however you may choose, or you may take the shortcut because you work smarter, not harder. Who knows? But there are rules in place, and it's also you take into consideration different states you live in. You could stay in an at-will state. North Carolina is an at-will state. So that pair of shoes that you feel entitled to wear may be the reason why, or lack of that, they choose to let you go, and they don't have to give you a reason. It's just, hey, you served your purpose for today. We thank you for your coming to work, Leon. We appreciate your contribution. We no longer need you or this position and just let you go. It's been let go. I've let people go during onboarding in their training class. So and you don't have to give a reason. That's the corporate, right? They have these rules in place. You follow them. You have to do it. Now, the other corporate side of me, the manager side of me, right? I look at it as, is it affecting her job? Is her wearing those sneakers stopping her from doing her job and what needs to be done today? Is it really preventing you from you looking at her with those sneakers on? Is it stopping you from working, right? Is she a great employee? Can she get things done? Have I had any issues with her? I look at, to me, I've grown to pick and choose my battles, right? I would say, you know what? It's nothing, sneakers, right? She's a great employee. I'm going to look past it because I need her to get the work done. It's summertime right now. Corporate America, the biggest battle when you work in corporate America is shorts, right? It is shorts. It's, because some people will allow you to wear shorts, but then they have to be an inch away from the knee. And, sometimes their inch away from the knee looks different to them when they leave out the house. You know what I mean? So I see both ways. I just look at it differently, right? When somebody complains to me about one of my employees wearing a hat, I'm like, okay, but did they get the work done, or are you more focused on the hat? You don't even work in my department, so why is this person's hat bothering you? I pick and choose my battles, and that's why I have such a great team where I don't have like these type of issues, right? But again, maybe the sneakers, I don't know. I don't know.
She finding people in HO and finding people at work.
I'm
like, nah,
like I said,
we're gonna get you up out of here.
I pick and choose my battles though.
Well, because it's at will. But I mean, I agree with you, Rene, on that. I mean, but there are certain aspects of corporate America in which you do have to abide by the rules and the workplace decorum when it comes to outfits. I don't want to tie this back to knowing our history. Well, they've always policed our bodies.
Right.
And because I always see on social media some black woman getting fired because she's curvy in a uniform, right? She can't wear it. And, you see that. Or the teachers. So there's a history of always policing our black bodies, right? So you have that part. So you got to kind of look at things. Is this part of it? Because even Louisiana had a law, I can't even pronounce it, but it's TIGLON or something like the Teagan law. It was back in the late 1700s where black women could no longer wear their hair out in public in Louisiana. So they passed a law. that black women, because why, their hair was free flowing and looks good, and the natives didn't like it. And so they passed a law that black women had to cover their hair. And what happened? What we always do, the things that we took the intestines of that pig and made chitlins out of it. So black women then started wrapping their hair with these garments. And so the garments were so luxury, and so it became stylish, you know. And so we're very good at those things. So I don't want to tie this to that, but I will say it depends on the line of work that you're doing. So you do need to obey the whatever the laws is when it comes to wearing a certain type of shoe. I know in the field that I worked in one time that one of the major expenses that companies pay is workplace injuries, slips, trips, and falls.
Right.
You know, that's not accounted for, it's not budgeted, and it can be very costly when it comes to workman's comp. And one thing how they combat that is slip, trips, and falls is you have to wear non-slip resistant shoes, right? And they come a certain way. They're not pretty, but when you're working in this facility, you have to have non-slip shoes, and they don't look good. So I can understand why. Right? Is that policing of the black bodies? I don't think so. I think it's about the bottom dollar that the company does not want to pay in workman's comp or in these workplace injuries, because people tend to get hurt at work and be out for a long time. So I would say if you're in corporate America, I can't get what I listened to that video and I watched her, and I would say that I think sometimes you got to put being able to look good versus being able to provide.
Right.
And if it's like the young lady said in the other video, if you want to wear what you want to wear and you want to do what you want to do, then get your own company. You know, but as long as you're working in corporate or any of these entities, you're gonna have to abide by their rules.
Right.
And can you push back? Yes, but to the degree to where you can throw this gauntlet down, like, well, I'm wearing these shoes anyway, well, they're gonna fire you.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna cry on social media how they're firing you for XYZ, and just no, you violated company policy. And so I've seen it from both ways. And in this case, I don't think it's a policing of a black body. I just think that she's being defiant. And that younger generation, I remember talking with them when they had to wear these slip resistant shoes. They didn't want to wear them. They wanted to wear these shoes you get online. What's that? SOKA or whatever those shoes. A lot of people was wearing, but they wasn't slip resistant. And it was like, well, I spent all my money. I was like, well, I'm sorry. You gotta wear what the company tells you, because you're in violation. So I just think that sometimes we can hurt ourselves by dying on a hill that we shouldn't.
Right.
You know.
Also, it's one of those things where people forget, and I even have to remind some of my peers at work. You know, sometimes you'll get asked to do a task that wasn't on your job requirement, right? When you apply for the job and you hear that ain't part of my job, I didn't sign up for that. I didn't apply for that. You did. You just didn't read the fine print. And I constantly have to remind people, it's on there. No, I didn't see it.
Yeah, it is. Duties as assigned.
Yes, it is either duties as assigned or based on business needs.
Yeah, Leon don't know nothing.
I don't know about it.
And people forget. And a lot of times it's like in font 10 or 8. But it's at the very, it's in the middle, but it's also in the end of your contract based on business. Other duties may be assigned based on business needs. And so I have to remind a lot of my peers, I didn't sign up for.
Yes, you did. That handbook you signed in orientation,
you sure did.
Had it in there.
You sure did. And you attest to it every year when you do your compliance training.
Yes.
And people forget that. So I say that to say the sneaker situation, you agreed to that when you apply for the job. And if you've been there over a year, you agree to it again, because if you work in corporate America, everybody knows you have compliance trainings and all of these reiterated trainings yearly, sometimes quarterly, and sometimes a little bit more depending on where you were hired at throughout the year. But you agreed to this.
Yeah, and on that video, the girl, I think she had 2 degrees, right?
Yes.
She has 2 degrees. And with her working for, you can speak on this too, working
But you
for-
could be an educated dummy now.
You can. I agree. I agree. I don't know if it's you or somebody else I was talking to. In the
Look, he about to
barbershop.
tell more stuff that I say off camera. Go ahead, man. You tell me. Don't be dropping names. But he, Rene, how many times he
No, but it's
tell stuff
but
that I said in
it's
confidentiality?
it's something I
Where
said.
is where didn't I sign a
But this is something I said. I said sometimes I give people too much credit.
Okay.
Knowing my situation and
Mm-hmm.
But you may forget I was gonna say.
It must have been a lie.
No,
Them old folks say.
Oh yeah, so she had 2 degrees, right? And this now sometimes people say I shun people in corporate, which I don't, because I always say you can do stuff on the side outside of your corporate job to help you build.
Correct.
This may inspire her to build something, because I know a lot of people that can do what they're doing on their job, go and build something of their own similar to what they do on their job, to build their own company or become an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
That may be something that
A lot of people do that, yeah. And that's why I think that it's okay for us to be in defiance. To be Black in America is to be in defiance. It's on something. But I think that we choose the wrong hill to die on.
Yeah.
And with this particular situation, it's find something else, you know.
Right.
And if it's that problem, do what you say. Perfect what it is that you do for them.
Mm-hmm.
Become a consultant or find a way around it, and then you can dress how you want to dress.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but as long as you work for them people, you have to do what they say.
Or move to another department where management is a little bit more lax.
It might cost us some money. May not.
Yeah.
But you at least look good.
Or you'll feel better. Your feet will feel better.
Yeah, you'll feel better. So I really would have liked to know what's the backdrop behind the shoes. And I think I saw her with that energy, was like,
I got 2 degrees.
Yeah, she's kind of lost. She'll lose a lot of us with that energy, because if you're that smart, then you should know not to. Come on, this is not something you should be taking on. Or you should have
read all of your hiring documents completely.
Yeah, listen, book sense and common sense are 2 different things.
That is very true. That is very true. But I mean, I work from home, so I really can't speak to that. But when I was in the office, I followed, guidelines. Or,
Yeah, I have no problem following guidelines when it comes to appearance. People got a brand to protect. And if you don't want to, be part of that brand, then find somewhere else to go. And
you don't know if we don't know if it's a client-facing company.
That's what I don't know. I would like to know more about it.
Or non-client-facing. Even if it's non-client, you still have stakeholders and vendors and CEOs, CFOs that walk the floor. So it's also perception there, right? But client-facing, I know a lot of corporate companies take that very serious, and they want they want to make a good impression, right? And they want everything to be aesthetically pleasing and comfortable to who their clients are. So I think we just need a little bit more backstory on it. Well, actually, I don't. She should just follow the company rules, or find another company that would allow her to wear her cute Adidas sneakers that she loves so much.
And we look for ways to support our people.
We do,
right? But you got to give us something to chew on,
right?
And that's not it.
Exactly.
Yeah, Lynn Richardson, I talk about her a lot, because she's always for people building their own, not leaving your corporate job, but building your own on the side. She also says a lot of ways you can have tax write-offs.
Correct.
Definitely.
So go find your own if you want to do your own thing.
Yeah.
I used to tell when I had when I was directly dealing with a lot of employees, and I've have assistant directors working under me. And I got this from a good friend of mine, Quincy Jackson. He was my first director, and I was full of piss and vinegar. So I was like, I was on everything, trying to work my way up. And I was next to him as an assistant director. And I'm like, hey, man, we let's change this. We're going to do this. I'm going to do that. And be like, hey, slow down. I'm like, no, man, we're going to do this. He was like, hey, when you get your own shit, you can do your own thing. Until then, you do what I tell you to do. Right? Now, he's my age. No, he's younger than me. Right? Oh, yeah. And I never forgot that. So I couldn't wait to use it on my assistant directors when they was running around. I was like, look, and the funny thing is they all called me. It's like, hey man, remember when you told me when I get my own thing, he said, I do that to my people. If we passing it down. So
there you go.
And you always learn something from somebody else.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I learned how to manage from all of my other, managers and everybody over me. I feel like I've taken certain different things from them, whether good or bad.
Absolutely.
Either the bad ones is like, oh, I don't want to be like that because the result I didn't get, there was no any great results from it. But from the good ones and, throughout the course of my year, oh yeah, I can definitely say they played a major role on how I managed today.
Right. And like you said, the dude was younger than you.
He was younger than me as a director. I learned from him and I
Mm-hmm.
took that and I couldn't wait to use it.
Right.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, this was a good one.
It's over?
It's over.
That quick?
No, man. We got to talk about something else, I guess.
What you want to talk about?
I don't
Do y'all
know.
want to keep going?
Well,
Listen.
If only we could see him in the chat, but go ahead.
My pastor say, once you finish something, you finish something. Don't try to keep going.
You know what I'm saying?
Cut it off.
Shout out Pastor Nate.
Pastor Nate.
Okay. I went to a different church.
We're going to get you to meet
Because they didn't stop. They'd be like, all right, I'm about to go. But
Pastor Nate, like once you go, you gotta go.
I like that.
Don't try to keep going, trying to make up stuff.
Just trying to make right. You're gonna end up digging yourself in a hole. I get it.
Yeah.
All right.
There you have it for another episode of the Impel Fort Podcast. And remember, seize the opportunity to grasp your dreams.
Peace.